Hello dear students, welcome to Eklavya E-class. Today I am going to teach you the first chapter from the book Flamingo, The Last Lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. Alphonse Daudet is a famous French novelist and short story writer. The story of The Last Lesson has been set during Franco-Prussian War. In this war, France was defeated by Prussia. Prussia at that time consisted of the three nations combined, namely Germany, Poland and some part of Austria. In this war, France was defeated and two districts, namely Lorraine and Alsace, had come under the control of Prussia. As far as the theme of this lesson is concerned, it deals with the impact of war on people and secondly, the importance of mother tongue. The story starts with a little boy, Franz, who the author himself is. Today, the little boy Franz in a great hurry to the school. The reason is that he is late for the school. Secondly, he is not prepared for the homework given by his language teacher, Mr. Hamel. Actually, Mr. Hamel had asked his students to come prepared with the topic participle the next day. But Franz had always been very careless kind of students. He was least bothered about his homework. When he was moving towards his school, on the way, he found a huge crowd in front of the bulletin board. Bulletin board was the notice board for the public, and Franz had noticed that most of the bad news, negative news for them had come to them through this notice board only. But today, he did not have much time to know the reason for the crowd. When Franz reached the school, he found the atmosphere there quite unusual. This scene is very important from the point of view of the questions asked in CBSE exam. Generally, when the school starts in the morning, there is a great hustle and bustle. The noise, the sound of dragging the desks, the benches, the chairs and recitation of learning the chapters aloud. But today there was silence all around. It seems as if it was a Sunday morning. The class had already started. Little Franz was afraid of getting a big scold from Mr. Hamel, but he was very much surprised to see that Mr. Hamel did not scold him. Rather, he called him to get inside the classroom and take his seat. When little Franz entered the classroom, he noticed that the back benches of the classroom were occupied by some elderly people of the village. He could not get the reason. After that, he noticed that Mr. Hamel was dressed up in his best attire that day. He recalled that he had seen Mr. Hamel wearing this special dress on some special occasions like annual function or the prize day of the school. But what is the reason that he is so specially dressed up today? When Mr. Hamill started his class with the announcement that it is going to be his last lesson, as orders had reached from Berlin that there will be no more teaching of French, only German will be taught them, and the teacher for German language will take charge the very next day. This announcement was just like a thunderclap to little Franz. He was shocked. It was very difficult for him how to react. The last day for his mother tongue, that is French, had arrived, and how careless he has been that he did not know even the basics of this language. Now he got the reason why the back benches of the classroom were occupied by the elderly people, senior citizens of the village, and why Mr. Hamill was dressed up in his best attire. Mr. Hamill started teaching the scheduled chapters, starting with reading aloud, then writing section, and lastly the grammar. Mr. Hamill had been a very disciplined and strict kind of teacher. Little Franz did not like him very much till date, but today, all of a sudden, his feelings towards him had got changed totally. Not only so, he was very much surprised himself to see that how easy it is today to understand each and every word spoken by Mr. Hamill to them. Is it his sincerity, his seriousness in the classroom that has made him to understand everything so easily? And the last part of his class, Mr. Hamill spoke on the importance of French language. He said that the native language, the mother tongue of the people, is very important to them. Nobody can enslave them totally till they feel proud in their mother tongue, in their native language. The proud, the confidence in the mother tongue is just like a key to the lock in which the people have been imprisoned. With the help of this key, they can get their freedom back. Everybody inside the classroom got very sentimental, very emotional to hear this. Even Mr. Hamill was so emotional that his throat got choked. Meanwhile, the clock struck 12 and they heard the trumpet sound of the Persian army. It was the time to get the school over now. Mr. Hamill turned toward the board and with all his force he wrote on the blackboard, "Vive France," means long live France. He got so emotional that he could not say any other word further. from his gesture, he signed that the class is over now, and the chapter ends with that. That's all with this lesson. In our next session, we'll discuss the important questions related to CBSE exam. So students, stay healthy, stay home. Together we can fight against corona. Thank you.